Okay.
Yeah, that's my
What
name.
a son of a bitch.
God, I love you.
But we are live, and welcome everybody to FanZcene. Here with me today is director Jim Wynorski and actress Lauren Parkinson. How you guys doing?
We're doing fine. I hope the 5 people watching this are in good shape too. You know.
Yeah, I hope
there goes one of them just left. It's 4 people now.
There's 4 people now. Hopefully, people will actually show up and listen to us. If not,
no, they won't.
It happens.
No, they won't. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Who's listening to the podcast at 11 o'clock in the morning?
People have to work.
Stephen Luther. Stephen Luther's
Luther.
listening to us right now. What's up, Stephen Luther? Glad to have you with us.
Just a second. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Oh, fuck you.
That's how you start a show. That's how you start a show right there. Perfect. Perfect.
The guy wasn't there.
It's
you
perfect
say nothing.
So,
you know what I do now? I get these calls, and I'm sure everybody gets them, where you don't recognize the number. So I answer it in a woman's falsetto voice. Like, hello.
No way. I seriously got one of those calls the other day, and I literally had my hands full and I was stepping out the door. So I was grateful that I got to say, hello. Oh, and they're like, hello, Miss Parkinson. How are you doing today? Oh my God, my hands are full and I'm stepping out the door. But guess who it was? It was Errol Sack offering me a part in his movie.
Awesome.
He's like, I'm glad you answered.
Thank you, Chuck Serino.
That's why I call like that, to see if you'll answer.
That's nice. That's cool.
All right. Well, bottom line is I give these people nothing but grief. If you can keep them on the line for 10, 15 minutes, because they're selling you Medicare, they're selling you insurance, they're selling you whatever they're selling.
Yeah.
If you waste their time. I mean, I had
you get a story out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a story.
You tell people.
I have this character, Eleanor Beanbaum, and that's who I answer as. She lives on Horset Road.
I don't work with the males.
Horset is spelled Horshit. So it's Horseshit Road.
Wow.
And when they finally get around to asking you all your pertinent information, they write down horse shit and then realize they're being scammed and usually start cursing back at me. But it's a lot of fun.
Hey, you gotta have enjoyment in today's day and age, right?
All right. So anyway, let's talk about let's talk about Cobrigator, which is coming out.
There you go.
It's coming out. When is it coming out? It's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's going to premiere.
August 23rd?
On August 23rd at the Monster Fest at the Skyline Drive-In in Shelbyville, Indiana.
Nice. And you guys made this how long ago?
10 years ago. 2014.
Jeez, and it's just now coming out.
I gave it to Roger Corman 10 years ago.
Mm.
The bastard sat on it till he died. Okay, I mean, I loved him as a guy because he gave me a career, but I think he told me he loved the movie. Called me the day after he saw it, said I did a great job, which was a nice thing to get. And then I sat back for 10 years and nothing happened. So now that he's passed away,
can I interject here, Jim?
Yes.
And make you tell the story of how you got your start, how you got to work with Roger Corman in the first place?
Yeah, I can tell you how that happened.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happened? Let me think. Oh,
you were doing
I was working for 20th Century Fox. I was doing a location managing for 20th Century Fox on location in Savannah, Georgia. And I was working at the college there, looking for locations for a new version of Breaking Away TV show. And coincidentally, to my arrival at Savannah, someone started making, I guess, obscene phone calls to female students at the college. And I had no knowledge of it at all. But 20th Century Fox heard about it and said, get rid of this guy. Even though they had no um, uh, they had no evidence. And so anyway, the producer was Herbert B. Leonard, who produced Rin Tin Tin and Route 66, etc. And he knew I was innocent. So what he did was he sent me back first class on a plane. And I thought my career was over. I thought my career was going to be over.
So he lost his job, but one guy was nice to him, sent him first class to
Yeah,
say goodbye.
Herbie was really good. He gave me a first class plane ticket. And on the way back home to LA, I met a woman and she said, oh, I know this guy my husband knows named Roger Corman. I can get you an interview with him. And I said, oh, I knew the name Roger Corman because I watched his films when I was growing up. And I said, oh, that'd be great. And she, true to her word, she went out and got me an interview. And I met with Roger, and one thing led to another. I had a job the following Monday.
Cool.
And
Oh, cool.
I started working for him as an advertising guy. I was doing all his posters and his press books and his publicity. And because I figured as long as I had his ear every day, I could get to make a movie eventually. So that's how it all happened.
Nice.
He had some sets left over from Galaxy of Terror. And I wrote a film called Mutant. And I gave him the treatment and script as he was going into the restroom. I said, Roger, read this. We can make this on the set. And he came out and he said, Jim, I'm going to buy this from you. And we're going to make it. It was that quick.
Nice.
And so they made the film. And it's a film that has gotten a lot of nice reviews over the years. And it started me out. And that's how
cool.
And I had so much fun working for Corman. Every day was a new adventure. It really was. It wasn't like working 9 to 5. There's so many crazy things that happened while I was working there. Casting sessions, production meetings, all kinds of stuff. And it was always crazy because Roger was very frugal, but he knew what he wanted to do. And he was making movies constantly during that period. This was the 80s.
Yeah.
And video had just gone through the roof. So he was trying to make everything for that market. And thankfully, I was there at just the right time.
Yeah. He made so many at the time. I think so many of us are huge fans of that. We just.
Well, I certainly am.
Yeah. It was just like I was watching School Spirit, and you just popped up in the movie.
I knew Alan Hollab, who directed that movie, and I just went down to the set to literally just meet some of the chicks. I said, "This is a teenage, horn dog movie,"
Mm-hmm.
and they were shooting at a school that was like, I don't know, 2 blocks from where Corman's building was. And I said, I'm just going to go down there and see who I could meet. And I went down there. I met some of the actresses. And Alan says, "I need somebody to drive up here and let these girls off." I said, "I can do that." And boom, I did it. Said thank you very much and left. And
Yeah.
I was in school spirit.
Yeah, I just got the Blu-ray and I was like, holy crap, that's Jim Wynorski when I was watching it. Speaking on talking to chicks, how'd you get Lauren to start working with you?
Steve Goldenberg
Steve Goldenberg.
said, he
You
looked
got
at
to
me and
tell
he's
us.
like,
You tell the story, Lauren. You tell the story.
well, I don't, it was like this really cool building that I got to go in and all these movie posters all over. And Steve Goldenberg was in there and he had us do the craziest audition and just like, again, like screaming at us, making us act while he's screaming at us, which is hilarious. But so yeah, I was like, "Oh, that was fun," and I was did this really huge character, and then he was like, I think Jim will really love you. So yeah,
And
when
I did. I
we were on the
did.
phone all the time, and it was like, and then he brought me back and made me watch Papatopoulos, and I was like, "Yep, seems like a good, honest man."
Well, yeah. So I was in
And
Florida.
then he's like, "All right, we're gonna fly you to Florida." So yeah, so my first time meeting Jim, the airplane had lost my bag. So I had all my costume ideas that were really hot in my bag, and because you know. Goldenberg was like, okay, Jim loves cleavage. You got to do this, got to do that. So I had all these amazing costumes, but they lost my bag. So I had to wear what I was wearing on the plane for the entire shoot of Cobra Gator. And luckily, I had a bathing suit in my purse, which is really strange, but it worked out. But anyway, so Goldenberg walks me up to Jim. He's like in the middle of shooting. He's like, "Hey, this is the other girl for the blah 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 scene, blah blah." And Jim walks up to me and just gave me the sweetest, like he was like in the middle of and he comes over and looks at me, and it was just like, yeah, she'll do, but with the most loving.
Well,
And
I'm
then
used to casting
Steve's
my
like,
films. I cast my films
yeah.
um, as I would cast any movie. I want to make sure that the guys that are watching my movies are saying, "Oh my God, look at that girl! Look at that girl! Look at that girl!" And if you've seen any of my movies, you know that that's the truth.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
So I had because I was already in Florida and they had cast Lauren in LA after I left. Because I think there was one girl who was supposed to show up and who didn't. And I said, "Well,
Woohoo!
get somebody else." And they got Lauren and sent her down. And I was very appreciative because when I showed up there, she is gorgeous, sexy, and just perfect for what I needed.
There you go.
And
But I had no cleavage showing, and
I
they're like, "This is what
could
she has to wear because
but
they
I could
lost her
you have
bag."
that face that says, "Come here," okay? And guys love that.
Very true, very true. And
She's got
speaking
that
of which,
face, okay? And so anyway, bottom line is we put her in that movie, and then a couple of years after that, maybe a year, I started doing my trilogy of dog movies, and she ended up being in the first two.
nice.
Did a great job.
What would I do without you, Jim? Seriously, because he calls me and he's like, "I got this part for you," and I said, "Well, you got a part for me. You send me the audition." It's like he's like, "No, we're just gonna give it to you," and I was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I gotta see if I can do this first." And I'm always like that. I'm like, let me see if I can do it. I gotta get into character,
She did a
because I
great
have so
job.
many different voices. I don't even know who I am sometimes.
She did a great job.
But yeah, so he let me do an audition. So I got into character and yeah, it was so much fun. Like,
That's cool.
but I love you, Jim, because he always believes in me. And every time he calls me and he says, "I have a part for you," and I say, "I don't know."
Julie says
So I say,
no. She always says,
I
"No, I
say, "I
can't do
don't
that.
know."
I can't do that. I can't do that." When I was doing 50-foot Cam Girl,
So you
I
gotta let
called
me
it because
audition first.
the lead girl in Cam Girl, the lead girl was 90 minutes late, and on the first day, and I said, "Well, who can I go to?" And I called her, but she was busy and couldn't come up and do it. So
With my kid. I mean, I had he was like 1.5 at the time, I
yeah,
think.
I know
He
you
was
couldn't
still
do it.
breastfeeding. I couldn't bring him to set.
But I did
uh,
call. I did call. But then she ended up doing uh, Bigfoot or Bust, which is a fun movie.
Doggone Hollywood was in between there.
Doggone Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes, that was right after Doggone
Doggone
Christmas.
Christmas.
nice.
And,
Nice.
next up is Catwoman of the Moon. Next
Which
month.
is
Don't forget Murderbot.
Oh, that's right. She's in a movie called Murderbot, which is now streaming on Tubi.
yes, yes,
TubiTV.com.
You saw that, yeah?
yeah. I
And
saw it.
I suggest go watching that. That's a fun, exciting movie that Lauren isn't,
Yeah.
does it great.
Minus the horn part, but you have to understand that the horn part was inspired by Chuck's sweet brother Al. Because he played the horn all the time.
No, there was
Every
a
once in a while, he'll hit a note.
yes,
And
there,
it'll
there
make
was a
you
movie. There was a movie
woo.
back in the 50s called Target Earth, and the idea was like the aliens couldn't take the sound of this high pitched thing that they created.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't have that, but I have Al, and that's a sound you don't want to sit through for too long, and because he would hit these bad notes, and don't blame me, Al, but he hit a couple of bad notes once in a while.
Only occasionally,
And
and we all
and
do. Yeah.
we purposely did that, and it turned out to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We do have a $5 super chat from somebody out in the audience from the Rookie Critic for $5. Says awesome guest. So thank you, Rookie Critic, for that $5. I appreciate that. So hey, so you got somebody out there watching, send in money.
Who's the Rookie Critic?
He's one of the members of the audience.
I thought it was you.
No, that's not me.
All right, well, Rookie Critic, thank you for contributing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to use that to buy a Subway sandwich right after this is over.
Hey, the Rookie Critic actually works at Subway. He actually legitimately works at Subway.
That was a coincidence.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
We're just tapped in.
yeah, it's just that. But
Foot long roast beef, please.
But I got to wear Murderbot because I knew August Kiss, who you have in the movie with you, and I found out she was doing the movie, and I'm a fan of you, and then that's where I actually also became aware of Lauren in that movie. I really dug her character in that. She felt like this, like the mama bear of the movie that was just there to kick ass. So I really I thought you guys all did really well in that movie.
August is a very nice lady.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I saw her in something in Canada. She was a stripper, I think. And I said, can you make it down here? And she did. Came down, I paid for her motel, and she did that movie. Did a great job. If you've seen the longer version,
oh, he has.
he does a hell of a striptease in the middle of the movie. So.
Yes. Yeah,
That's his favorite thing.
It's not on Tubi though. Tubi cut
it. Yeah, that's why some people have been complaining about that.
Go to the Full Moon channel and you get the whole thing.
That's where I saw because I have the Full Moon subscription to Full Moon, and that's where I saw it.
There you go. So you got the full month.
Yeah. I got the full month. I got to see her in all her glory.
She's loaded, fully loaded, power packed. So
yes.
It was hot.
Yeah.
And all right, so that's.
I normally don't like nudity.
What?
That was hot. I said I normally don't like nudity, but that was hot.
Yeah, you don't.
Glow sticks.
Yeah, it was. It was. I never. I mean, I knew her, and I'd never seen her naked before. So, but when I saw that, It was nice. So yeah, I agree. But you don't typically do that in Jim's movies. And Jim,
I
you're
never
known
have.
for the breast in a movie.
Well,
I never
you know,
have in any movie, though.
Yes, that's true. Any movie, yes.
Yeah.
there is a new thing now where they don't want nudity.
The
They
kids these days.
they
Yeah.
don't want nudity anymore, and what they do is they tell me that right at the beginning. When I did Bigfoot or Bust, I had nudity in the movie, and they said take it out. We can get more sales. So I did, and
Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, it happens.
but
Oh,
Charlie Band wanted nudity in Murderbot, so I gave it to him. But it was it's what the producers, the money people know what they want, and
Yeah.
you give it to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Charlie Band is one of the few people that are still putting nudity in movies, which I'm surprised to see. I don't do I don't do porn. I don't. It's stupid. I don't like it. Because that's why I like when when you're watching a movie and maybe you see a woman's boob pop. It's something surprising about that still. So I don't need to go searching for it.
It's
Why search?
everywhere. Come
It's
on.
everywhere. So that's why it feels so much more special in a movie or something, because you just don't. Sometimes you don't expect it. Sometimes you do. So it's just.
Well,
So I don't get why people are so averse to it.
Catwoman of Catwoman of the Moon will be sexy, but with no nudity.
And that's fine. Not everything needs it. And it's fine.
So there you go.
Yeah, and we did get another $10 from the rookie critic who says that's hilarious. Footlong roast beef coming up. So
I can taste it. Come on. I think I have some well done roast beef in my refrigerator, so I'll just make a sandwich after this.
there you go. There you go.
So that's what's coming up. Catwoman of the Moon, which is end of July.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going off in August, late August, to go to the Skyline Drive-In for the Monster Fest. And I think I've got your ticket all set there, Miss Lauren. So
yay! Because that's close to home for me. It's like 2 hours away, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's a very nice place. I've been there before. A lot of people show up,
Be there.
and they're going to have a big kind of convention at the Skyline Drive-In starting on Friday day.
You live close to there, Greg?
Yes, I actually do. I'm an Ohio boy, so
Yeah. What part?
down near Cincinnati.
I'm going to be in Ohio
Oh yeah. That's home.
in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to be at the Pequot Comic Con in 2 weeks. I think it's about as small as the podcast here. I'm going anyway.
Hey, don't call yourself too small. We got 11 people watching, so that's more than 5.
11. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Hi, Mom.
I used to do theater, and occasionally, yeah, hi, Mom. She's probably too busy, but occasionally, when you're doing theater and like one person shows up in the audience, especially in LA, and the show must go on.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, yeah, this is bigger than that.
Yeah. The best advice I got when I started doing this was whether there's 0 or 100 people out there, just talk like you're always talking to 1,000 people. It don't matter.
Or one. No, you have to talk like you're always talking to one. That's the secret, right?
No, yeah, well, yeah, there you
No.
go. Yeah. And
like, don't tell me 1,000. I'm scared.
I don't know how sometimes some people I've seen that do this do get like over thousands of people watching them, and I don't know how they keep up with it. I really don't. So, but the rookie critic who's spending a lot of money in my chat today for another $5 because he's a rookie critic because he has not seen a lot of movies.
Which of your movies would you?
Let me give you my address, rookie
People
critic.
start
with? Okay, rookie critic. Go watch Shopping Mall if you haven't seen that. That was my second movie.
Nice.
And then I did a movie called Deathstalker 2. I did a thing called Big Bad Mama 2 with Angie Dickinson. I did The Return of Swamp Thing with Heather Locklear.
I love Return of the Swamp Thing.
And I've done a lot of movies over the years. Just go to IMDb and punch my name in, and you'll see a few of the titles. Over the years, I think I've done
Yeah.
over.
And Greg,
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
no, continue. You've done over how many?
I think I've done. The last time I counted was I've been involved in about 173 movies. It's a lot.
That is a lot.
173. And that's not just as a director, it's as a writer or a producer or an actor. You know?
That's nice.
Or an actor.
I've acted in more than one movie. What is this? Where's the hard to kill? It's hard to die, okay? Not hard to kill. And
Yes,
I'm asking that myself. The fuckers that own the rights now are still not putting it out. I told them to put out Hard to Die and Sorority House Massacre 2, with the two Orville films.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very unhappy that they still haven't done it yet. They both need Blu-rays.
Yeah, I'm very unhappy with that company myself. The way they treat the Roger Corman titles.
They suck. They suck.
Yeah. I'm not too happy with. I'll say it. Shout Factory, Shit Factory. I'm not too happy with them. They treat a lot of their titles like crap that they have, and I don't like it.
Oh yeah, they're awful people. Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do.
They don't.
And so, anyway, bottom line is, eventually something's going to come out. So
I'm looking for it. I've been waiting on that one a while myself.
But I've got a lot of these erotic thrillers. I did like Body Chemistry 3 and Body Chemistry 4, Sins of Desire, Victim of Desire. I did a whole Desire trilogy.
Are those yours coming out on those DVD sets that they're coming out with on MVD, Skin Max DVDs?
They might. I don't know. No one tells me anything until I see it on the shelves or hear about it. You know?
Yeah, there's some of these like double feature. They're called Skin Max DVDs. It's a movie that aired on Cinemax late at night. A bunch of those movies.
I certainly could be there because I did about a dozen of those.
I see some with Tane McClure in them, if I'm saying her name right. And Julie Strain's in a couple. I can't remember all of them that I've seen them. They're selling just on DVD.
It was a beautiful lady who died too young, and we had a lot of fun. We made I don't know. I think we made at least 7 or 8 movies just between with me directing. But she worked a lot for Andy Sedaris, and they were fun times.
Yeah, that's what when I watched Papadopoulos, and it said that you made all those movies and were always profitable. And I was like, yeah,
because I figured out how to make them at a decent price, so they would make money. I mean, back then in the late 90s and early 2000s, Cinemax was paying $80,000 for an erotic movie. And that's not a lot.
Yeah.
But if I could make them for 30, that's $50,000 profit.
Yeah.
And if I could make enough of them, I'd make a lot of money over the course of the year. And so what I always did was I said, okay, I'm going to take, something like 25 or 30,000 and make one movie, but then combine it with more money and make 2.
Yeah, it works.
We'd make them in 5 days, 2.5 days per movie, and with the same actors. Because I'd go somewhere and say, okay, let's just make these movies. And I had this formula with 40-page scripts and 10 pages of, not 10 pages, but 10 love scenes per movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said 10 love scenes at 4 minutes each is 40 minutes. And if I could fill up the other stuff with dialogue, I'd have a 75-minute movie,
Yeah.
and that's all they require. It's a 75-minute movie.
That's I heard you say that in the documentary, and then I watched Witches of Breastwick, and I said he wasn't kidding because it's like sex scene, a little bit of dialogue, sex scene, a little bit of dialogue, sex scene. So you really did,
but it worked.
yeah.
It worked. I saw that movie right off the bat. Okay, and the only problem was is if they didn't like it, if they didn't like it, then you lose your money.
Yeah.
Because Showtime, which was the second-rate tier, would only pay something like $20,000 as opposed to 80.
Mm-hmm.
And if they bought it, you were in the whole 10 grand. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was no foreign sales on any of this stuff. So you had to make it hopefully for Cinemax because they were paying much more.
Yeah. We do have a question
But
about.
that stuff doesn't sell
Go
as
ahead.
well anymore, right? So we were in, Jim was in the process of deciding what to do for his next movie. So I was trying to strongly encourage him to do another children's movie because, besides the dog movies, he's done like the Nessie movies, and they were really successful. So we were like really trying to get him to do another dog movie. And then you're like, no, and you were backtracking. What was the name of the movie that you wanted to do with the girls, and you're doing a séance, and you're all wearing something really really low cut? What was the name of that movie that you were trying to sell me on, Jim?
I don't remember.
Oh, and you we were in the car, and you were like, "What if I call it this?" And I was like,
Well,
"As soon
that was the Mammary Horror.
The memory reel. I like that. I would watch that.
I was like,
I
I'm
of
not, I
course you'd
cannot do
watch
a movie
that.
called.
I'd watch it.
I was going to
No, but
make
I was
it,
like, I have a 6-year-old.
but I was going to make it until they kept saying no more nudity, and you can't make a movie called The Mammary Horror without nudity. Okay, so
He was trying to sell me on it for like weeks, and he's like pretending he was going to call it by different names. Like that was hilarious.
someone's asking about Ghoulies 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't use the
sorry.
Ghoulies because I thought they were rubber puppets. I hated them. Okay. When they came to me and said, "Let's do Ghoulies 4," I said, "Okay, but I want my Ghoulies to be Ghoulies." Okay. And I can't get any reaction out of puppets, especially inarticulate puppets, because they didn't move. They were just like these Ghoulies, and then so I did mine as a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Had a good time too. I like that movie.
Yeah. But do you think that nudity will ever come back in the film again? Do you think this will come back around?
Nudity will never go away. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's still in
right
like
now,
Oppenheimer.
Right now, it's politically correct time.
Mm-hmm.
The LGBTQ quiet. Yeah, that's put a big crimp in what people are making and buying. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The whole woke society is you got to appeal to where the masses are. Sometimes those masses are congealed into a different form.
There will always be directors who want to do it, and there will always be girls who want to do it.
Yeah.
I just don't happen to be one of those girls, and he keeps wanting to work with me still.
I keep wanting to work with you because you're good.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes, you are attractive, but we don't need to see them. You're great in your movies. So
I think the furthest I've ever gone, you have a copy of that movie. You're like,
yeah. What was that? Appetites?
Yeah. That was a crazy movie.
I signed that baby up for you.
I haven't. I've never seen that, so I should go watch that.
Yeah, you guys.
There is some good news scenes in it, and it is the most you will see of Lauren in any movie. So
okay,
yeah.
Aww.
I'll go right to my place this afternoon and get it.
That was the most intense like it was 14 or 16 or more, something like 17 days or whatever it was. It was like solid days of shooting, like from sun up to sundown, and then we would rehearse like all night for the next day. Wow, it was crazy. But talk about 5 day shoots. Like that my character Daisy was in the whole movie, and it was it wasn't a 4 hour movie. It was like a 2 hour movie.
Yeah.
But so be prepared to sit for it, Jim. But it's a good one.
Okay,
Yeah.
check it out. I'll
It's got
check
a
it
little
out.
bit of a Twin Peaks vibe to it. I felt a little Twin Peaks vibe because of the small town and weirdness in that small town that you're
Yeah.
in. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going a total different direction with the character, like something like really straight, and because all of the weirdness that I do with my voice, um, I made it like more subtle, and
Mhm.
but then the director the night before was just like, nope, be more yourself, and then more southern, and then more crazy, and
Yeah, the
I had
accent.
a
I
lot of
loved
fun.
that. I loved your accent. It was great. It was great. It was
Does it
good.
kind of remind you like back home in Cincinnati though? Sometimes that
Well,
Appalachia area.
yeah, down where I live. Yeah, because I'm a
Yeah.
little more out in the country than I am near the city. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so they got the accent out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Are you allowed to say like what town exactly, or are people going to
I
come stalk
yeah,
you?
I can't.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can tell you later. I can tell you
Okay.
later. But what else you guys will talk about? We've been going about 40 minutes, so I figured you guys maybe 40, 45 minutes, however long you guys want to stay. Whenever you're good to go, we can close it up. But
All
whatever
right,
else
well,
you
I'm bored already, so thank you, everybody.
You got any more questions?
Nice, Mr. I love this guy. Story Has Massacre 2
Oh,
and Hard to Die are fun to watch.
guys,
They are fun to watch.
yeah,
That's a story I'll tell right now.
go ahead.
Um, I was doing, I was working for Roger, and he was going out of town with his wife, Julie Corman, who had produced Chopping Mall. And they had just finished shooting some sort of Slumber Party Massacre 3 and a movie called Rock and Roll High School Forever. And I walked up to Julie and I said, let's shoot a movie while your husband's gone. And she says, okay, but I'll fund it, but don't overspend. And do you have a script? I said, no, but I can use the sets from Rock and Roll High School Forever and Slumber Party Massacre 3. So I sat down at a desk at Corman's and belted out a script in 3 days. I wrote the entire script for Slumber Party, Sorority House Massacre 2, which it became. It was originally called The Seance, and I cast it and shot it while Roger was out of town for a week in Europe. And Julie said, don't tell anybody. So Roger came back. He was at the studio. He used to have a big building in Brentwood where the offices were, but then he had a studio over in Santa Monica. And it was an old converted lumber yard. Anyway, he was down at the lumber yard and he walked in and he saw blood all over the sets. And he saw blood on the sets of Rock and Roll High School Forever. He says, what's all this blood? Ruined the set. And they said, oh, that's Jim Wynorski. He was in here last week shooting a movie. So I get this call at home, and Roger says, what movie were you shooting last week? I told him, I said, I shot a movie in 7 days while you were gone. And he says, can I see it? I said, ask your wife. It's her movie. And so he called Julie, and Julie said, go watch it. and he went down to the studio. He was at the studio, and he went into the editing rooms, and they showed what they had cut. And I got there, and he said, "Can you do one for me in the same way?" He said, "Just remake it." So I wrote this movie called Hard to Die. Okay, and I shot on the same sets with the same people, basically, because he had just finished this movie called Corporate Assets, which I don't believe ever came out. I think it's one of those movies that just got buried.
Hmm.
It might have come out under a different title, but it was when it was shooting. It was called Corporate Assets. It was a comedy about big business, and I could see why it never came out. Anyway, bottom line is I shot on those sets, and I made it even sillier and more outrageous than the seance. Because I said I have a guy named Orville Ketchum who looks like the villain, but he's actually the good guy. I don't know if you've ever seen these movies, but
Yeah.
they're kind of fun to watch. And
Yeah.
I made both of them, and a lot of people like them, and they still haven't come out on Blu-ray, and I don't know why. So you never know.
It's because Shit Factory don't know how to handle what they got.
That's absolutely the truth.
Yeah. So they don't. I could.
So
The way they
that's the Sorority House Massacre 2, Hard to Die story.
There you go.
It's worth talking about.
Well, hey, can I plug, since you're in the Cincinnati area? Also, let's see, June 22nd, we have 7 Days to Hell premiering down in Louisville.
Oh, nice.
So that's
Nice.
cool. Another like horror.
And Lauren will
You
be
can plug whatever you want. Go ahead.
Lauren will be at the Monster Fest in August.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
She's
I got amen. I got lots of stuff going on right now, but
she's in Cobra Gator, and she deserves a premiere because she's one of the leads.
Once that gets premiered, is that going to be on any platform to watch other than the drive-in?
No, I don't know.
Okay, who has the rights? You don't know.
I have 40% of the rights, and
Okay.
Roger Corman, the late great Roger Corman, had 60%. So now I've got to make a deal with his company, try to get it out there, which I probably will.
Okay. Another question here from somebody real quick before we close it out here says, I did remember hear about you almost directing unproduced comedy witches film called Beverly Hills Witches. Remember that?
I didn't do anything called Beverly Hills Witches. Sorry. I did Witches of Brestwick and Witches of Brestwick 2.
That's probably what I was talking about.
That was enough witchy movie for me, Yeah. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you who this is.
Plug your children's ears.
The 213 area. Hold on. Hello.
Funny.
Rocky.
Seriously? Rocky.
You do. Bye. Or for my girlfriend.
And you hung up on her?
No, it wasn't my girlfriend. It wasn't Rocky.
Okay.
It was someone saying, "Is Rocky there?"
Oh, hilarious.
So there you go.
She
Anyway,
gave
that's
them
it.
your number so you could.
I think we're gone.
Okay.
He hung up.
I love you.
So long, folks.
See you, baby.
Bye.
Mwah.
Sorry, my internet cut out. Sorry.
Bye. Going. I'm cutting out.
Sorry. What happened to well, sorry everybody, the internet cut out there right at the end. But thank you all for coming. Sorry about that. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Lauren. I don't know what happened there. I'll see you guys later. Bye.